Yo, what's good? It's Gano. So, as you know, over 4th of July weekend, they had African Fest, Essence Fest, in New Orleans. And apparently it was dry. And not just the Jollof. Like the vibe was just, you know. So FBAs, stood on business. And if you didn't know, I guess apparently Africans, you know, didn't get the memo. There was some confusion about, what the vibe of Essence Fest is supposed to represent. A celebration of, American black culture. But like I said, somewhere along the lines, some confusion apparently. So, from what I understand, the Africans, you know, pretty much hijacked Essence Fest, and they used it to push African culture, and pretty much excluded, you know, Black American culture, which was the foundation of what the entire. So, you know, like I said, FBAs, stood on business, and African immigrants are taking to social media to, express their displeasure. They feel betrayed, you know. They don't understand. And they say we should be unified. And I agree, we should be. We should be. Because we are stronger together, right? But, I mean, for as long as I can remember, you know, I've heard, different rhetoric, being expressed from African immigrants, Africans in general, that explicitly, they are not like us. They distance themselves from us. You know what I'm saying? They look down on us. We ratchet, we ghetto, ignorant, dysfunctional, like all that. So now all of a sudden, some feelings got hurt. You know what I'm saying? FBAs put their foot down because this was not, you know what I'm saying? Y'all trying to pull a woo-woo. And now I'm gonna try to play victim. Y'all know what y'all did, man. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. As far as unity, and as I said, man, I love all my people, man. African immigrants included. Africans, you know what I'm saying? Uh, if you got Caribbeans, if you got black blood in you, but it's not reciprocal. We found that out time and time again. You know what I'm saying? Particularly from Africans. So like I said, you distinctly made an effort to separate yourself from us. Y'all really think we stupid? I mean, the rest of the world really think that we are stupid, you know? But we be peeping shit. And the writing been on the wall, man. And this is not about. I would never try to preach division against my own, even though they are not like us. Let's be clear. And I'm not African American. You know what I'm saying? Nah. So it is what it is, man. We take it for what it is. So every time it pushes your agenda, you know what I'm saying? Y'all pop out talking about unity, solidarity. But where that been at all these years, man? When FBA's steady trying to embrace African immigrants, always. But y'all look down your nose at us. And not all of them. Obviously, I'm not, generalizing the entire continent of Africa, but And y'all talking about, look, don't jump on social media being condescending. This is what I'm talking about. Like y'all, sunning us, preaching about the dysfunction. This is why blacks can't make any progress in America. We're not united. All the goddamn civil wars going on in Africa. That's why most of y'all run your ass over here. So don't talk about division. That's what pisses me off, the condescending tone that, like y'all just, these FBAs. Like, come on, man. We peep this shit out. So, I don't want to get on a rant, but, and this is not me, talking out the side of my neck. I've had conversation with African immigrants, not a gang of them, but enough to make, come to a certain assessment. And they definitely consider themselves different. And they are different. You know what I'm saying? But y'all know what I'm talking about. So it is what it is, man. You have African culture and you have Black American culture. They're distinctly different, man. There's nothing, they're not even vaguely similar. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But my whole point, when we talk about unity, and first of all, as I said, you only gonna try to embrace somebody to a certain extent. You get tired of getting spit in your face. You know what I'm saying? And even family, sometimes you have to cut off. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta love family from afar. So it is what it is, man. And this is the summer of exposure. That's what it is, man. Even though we already knew what we knew. As far as the Mexicans now popping out, you know what I'm saying? Showing their true faces. But I've already been saying this since I started this channel. You know what I'm saying? But the dynamics that's playing out, as far as the West Coast and this whole so-called Black-Brown alliance, and that shit is only beneficial financially. And I ain't about to get all into, the cartel shit, but trust me, man. Mexicans don't fuck with us like that. You know what I'm saying? And I know this for a fact. When you behind them walls, man, you find out, you know what I'm saying, what racial relations really about. And a majority of them Mexicans align themselves with the Peckerwoods, the Aryans. But on the streets, you know what I'm saying, because it's somewhat beneficial, the alliance that, I'm talking about street shit now. But in real life, the Mexicans don't mess with us, man. Now, I'm not saying, like I said, I judge each individual for who they are, but ideology-wise, man, you know what I'm saying? So make no mistakes, in a perfect world, yeah, everybody would love each other. It would all be one big gumbo, all that. But in real life, man, stick to their own. It ain't no exception with these Mexicans. So, like I said, man, and I got people, no disrespect. I understand in Texas it's a different dynamic. Y'all claim, you know what I'm saying, it's a brotherhood, a sisterhood with the Latinos. I'm talking primarily the Mexicans, and that, as far as, them calling you niggas, letting them have, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, to each your own. But nah, I ain't rocking with it. So if that's a Texas thing, y'all keep that shit up in Texas. But I'm telling you, trust the Mexicans at your own peril. I'm talking about the members. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Trust them at your own peril, man. But, it is what it is. Y'all find out the hard way. And like I said, I'm not a racist, and I'm tired of even justifying that. I'm a realist. And y'all know damn well I'm telling the truth. So it is what it is, man. But as far as the African immigrants, I got a little off track, you know. Listen, man, there was a time, like I said, I looked at Africans like superheroes. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with the shit they got to deal with, all the, you know, the wars going on over there. Then to come over here and deal with America, the racism that exists here. I used to look at them like superheroes, you know. And I found out, though. I fucked around and found out. You know, but it is what it is, you know. So FBA is going to continue to do what we've been doing, and that's focus on FBA business. You know what I'm saying? And that's all to it. No ops left Skano. You already know.